I'll be honest with you, public speaking is one of my favorite things ever. It's also one of the most terrifying things I would be doing. And I'm pretty sure you wonder why I wear these aviator glasses so many times. Was because it's mainly because I don't want people to think to see my fearful eyes, I guess you could say too. Because behind these glasses, I get pretty scared too. So I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to look at right in the eye and tell you how I got where I am today when it comes to public speaking. So here are some strategies. And by the way, before we continue, this is also a request from one of our viewers. So thank you so much for the question, and I'll tell you what I do when it comes to building some confidence with public speaking. Not just for public speaking for keynote events, but also people in general. Little known fact and a little bit known of a secret is that I actually wrote the first book because I was just so darn terrified of speaking with other people that I might as well write a book instead. Writing is much easier than talking, so that's why I kind of did in the first place. And then the second book was just more of a passion project and to rediscover the joy of writing. But enough about that for now. This one is about speaking. So one of the strategies I would do is set a goal for myself. Set more like a prize afterwards. Do a good job at the speaking engagement, you win a prize. What kind of prize? I like to go small, like even if it's so simple, like a cup of coffee or a jelly donut, or going one of those all-American drive-thrus. I'm always a big burger eater, so that's one of my favorite prizes. So that's one thing, is set a prize for yourself too. That way you have something to look forward to after you do your event. The second thing I would say is get excited. Get all hyped up for this event too. It may be easier said than done, but it's true. I like to get hype myself up and get excited for these kind of events too. Although sometimes I'll be the first to admit that when it's exactly 10 seconds to the event, I'll be like, "Get me out of here!" I just panic and feel like I just want to get out of here. But that's only with those 10-second rule and concept too. I can't imagine telling you of those moments where I almost bolted out of the door, and then my managers and the event speakers would drag me back into the into the stadium or onto the platform and all that concept too. That's what I call this. Although it's actually more exaggerated for that concept too. That would be kind of funny if that actually happens. Like get that on tape where it's like they're just dragging me back onto the stage, but that never actually happens. It's just more of a feeling, with those 10 seconds that you just want to get out. But you just know you just have to be the one to step onto that platform and give a good presentation. And that's the other thing too. That's step number 3, where there's a little bit of a secret for a lot of performers, not just for keynote event speakers, but also for band members and teachers, and just anyone that gives presentations. Especially I always go to the point when it comes to band members is that it's true. The large majority of band members they get pretty nervous, and they get a little anxious to perform and all that kind of stuff too. I even know a bunch of performers that are known for their talented singing abilities, and they get nervous, absolutely. But the thing that's what makes them fantastic is once they start their performance, they are what we like to call autopilot mode. And for that is we do our performance and we don't really feel too nervous about it. It's true. It's like one of those scientific phenomena and all that kind of stuff too. I can't remember the exact term for it, like the actual scientific term, but it's true. It's like once you start, you do really good at it, and you won't feel too nervous or too scared anymore. And so the step number 3 is make a little bit of a mental note of yourself, saying that all you gotta do is just start talking, just start talking what's on your mind. And as a matter of fact, that's what I'm doing at the moment, if you can't tell already. so that's step number 3 for that concept too. As for talking with others, sometimes I do get nervous. For those kind of things too. Even today and all that kind of stuff too. But just like on every presentation, it kind of repeats itself, whether you're on stage or just talking with others in general, that kind of stuff too. You gotta make those 3-step notes for those kind of things too. Get excited about speaking, and just keep on going, and then once you start talking, you just it feels a lot better once you do that kind of thing too. And keep in mind too that there are people that perform and do keynote events. They will make mistakes. I can probably list about 100 mistakes that I've done during my careers at keynote events, but that maybe could be for another video in its entirely, so I'm not going to do it for here. but all kidding aside too, is that it's true. We have a lot of speakers, people who've been doing it for years. They make mistakes. They still make mistakes too. Even stand-up comedians, they make a lot of mistakes too. But you know what they do? Do they stop the show and do they stop the show? No, they keep on going. And how do they keep on going? They manage to know how to recover from their mistakes too. As a matter of fact, I think even a lot of stand-up comedians, when they make mistakes too, I think that makes the show slightly even better. It's like, because they happen and they know how to recover afterwards too. It's all part of making a mistake and keep on going. In fact, I'll tell you a little short story too. Is that there was a band who. There was a band known for heavy metal rock, and the sound equipment, it was very faulty. Like they couldn't get the sound quite right too. And they thought they had going, but during a live show event, it's something kind of was a bit of a mistake, a little bit of a problem. And sure, they were nervous, they were panicked. It's like they didn't know. It was like, oh man, this isn't what we wanted. So what did they do? Well, I remember one guy, he was saying, bad guitar, bad guitar, and then one of the other singers, he said, this is one of my favorite parts too. He was like, hey, we messed up, and you all came over here. So what I want you to do right now is go boo, and the crowd did exactly what they did. so that keeps the audience occupied while everyone got their system together and got their sound equipment together, and they performed a fantastic show afterwards. It's all the art of recovery and stalling for time. But all jokes aside for that kind of stuff, I'm sure the bands probably could get away with stalling for time for that kind of stuff, because hey, that's part of the show, I suppose. but the point is that we all make mistakes. It's bound to happen, and all you gotta do is learn how to recover from the mistakes. It can be hard, it can be scary sometimes too, and sometimes you might find yourself stuck. And that's why when it comes to just about every performance, there's always someone out there, either behind the scenes or maybe even in front of the scenes, that would give you a good hand, give you a good help for that kind of stuff too. I remember when I was in a play, and some people forget their lines, and the director kind of gives them a little bit of a boost, just a little heads up for what goes on too. So the point is that everyone gets some help for all that kind of stuff too. So when you feel stuck and when you feel like you don't know how to recover at the moment, there's always going to be someone to help you out. So give yourself a break. Just don't worry too much. Everything's going to be okay. Just take a long, deep breaths. Try to analyze the situation and then learn how to continue when it comes to speaking, all that kind of stuff too. Apologize if it's all right. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. What's the thing about this thing? There's one thing I wanted to say, but I couldn't figure out. It's okay to say that kind of stuff too with other people, and people can take the moment to help for those kind of things too. So, point is, I said it before, and I will say it again, that there will be people that will be there to help you. Just keep it in mind. Just put a little mental note on that kind of stuff too, or even write it down in your notebook. That's what I like to do sometimes too during school. I like to write down stuff on my notebook when it comes to social situations for that kind of stuff too, and they help. It's kind of like reading from a script from an ongoing movie or an ongoing play. That's the way I kind of like to read. It's like people say hi, and go look up at the script and figure out what to say next. It's true. That's how I was kind of having trouble with words back in the day too, and I feel like I've improved over the years. But it's, sometimes even today I kind of still stumble on a bunch of stuff too, and that's why you gotta learn how to recover and keep on going for these kind of things too. And that's why for every keynote speaking event we have these things called outlines. I actually have a couple of them right now in my files for a couple of upcoming events coming up. One for California, one for Michigan, and boy, let me tell you, from the start of this video, I'm still going through the same things. A little combination of feeling nervous, feeling excited, and you just can't wait. And plus, I haven't really quite been to Michigan before too, so it's like it'll be kind of a fun opportunity see, there you go. There I am again, forgetting my words. The opportunity to go visit some place entirely new and have a little bit of adventure. The most important thing that I always keep in mind, and I always say this out loud of every single speaking engagement, before every single speaking engagement, and that is this: it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun, and that's what it is. Don't see it as don't see it as a job. Just see it as a playful, golden opportunity to have some fun. Because once you put the fun in the speaking engagements, then the job can be a complete game to the speaker, and the whole audience is out there willing to play along with you. And that's how I kind of personally would see it. Is it's gonna be fun. That's why I always tell myself it's gonna be fun. For that kind of stuff too, because try not to think of it too much in terms of people are counting on you, and no pressure and all that kind of stuff too. But you gotta mention too that it's gonna be fun. It's just be playful about it too. Just be yourself, and while still providing the information that people want to learn from you. And that's basically what it is for that kind of stuff too. It's all of it is just is super fun, and just with the whole opportunity and all that kind of stuff too. One quick story I want to mention too is that I'm sure there are people out there that want to know what's the most terrifying speaking engagement I've had. And I'll be honest, the one thing that I kind of go towards was the one in Arizona. The whole thing is that there was a graduation ceremony for high schoolers. What's really cool about this particular graduation is that all the students all have autism. So this is a autism focused school event that people would go to for all the students that have autism. And this is a very special event too. It's for during the graduations where they get to graduate after this special school. So the reason why it was so terrifying to me and stuff was because, for one thing, it's a high school graduation. There are students out there, and I wanted to make it quick but still informative. And part of it was I just want to make a good impression, just for the students. It's not about me; it's about the students, and that's what we do for these kind of things too. And that's just the main part of it was I just don't want to disappoint the students for that kind of stuff too, because graduation it's like one of the biggest most important life events out there too. So heat is on, absolutely. So what I did? I brought these with me and start putting them on, and what I did is I went up, I danced on top of that stadium, and then just smiled at the students and say, "You're going to have a grand adventure," and a lot of other things too. Just more encouragement, not constant too. The encouragement, have fun with graduation too, and that's where we go towards with point number 4 is to have fun with it, and because graduation, it's supposed to be a fun event. It's not supposed to be stressful. So might as well put the fun into graduation, and that's where you go. And that's where the speaking becomes much more natural, much more fluent for these kind of things too. Once you go up there with a smile and start putting on a good show for everyone. The one thing I will say too is that speaking of these classes or anything like that too, I've noticed that too that there are artists out there, for music and all kind of stuff that would feel much more comfortable either shielding their eyes or shielding their faces and all that kind of stuff too, or put on a big helmet and all that kind of stuff too. I'm sure you probably wonder, why do they do that? That kind of stuff too. Part of it, maybe it's because of it's the brand. It may look cool, but I do believe that there is a second reason why people would do that, and the reason why is because it would hide themselves and rather have a persona to do the show for them, not a kind of thing too, which is true. I actually know one guitarist actually would wear a mask when he's playing his guitar, and the thing about him is that he is notoriously super shy. He's sometimes hanging out with people, it can be a little too much for him. So that's why he prefers to wear a mask and start playing his guitar. He doesn't really speak too much, but that's one thing I've noticed about that too. So if you feel too nervous about that kind of stuff, might as well put on a mask or glasses or on all these kind of things and let them do the show for you. That kind of thing too. For those who are considering doing bands or music and all that kind of stuff too. Obviously, I don't think I know any keynote event speakers that actually would put on masks or wear helmets or all that kind of stuff too. And not that I know of. I mean, if you know anyone, feel free to leave some in the comments below. It's like, please prove me wrong. I want to know all that kind of stuff. but yeah, I don't. Otherwise, for me personally too, if I start doing that kind of stuff, that would be way too distracting. All that kind of stuff too. It's like they want you for your information, and also partly for you as well. So be yourself, and also just be more. It's one of those things where it's like you gotta put in the professional part into the concept too. Be professional, be serious, and you can still be playful for these kind of things too. For me personally, I can still be playful for these kind of things too. But don't let it be like the main focus. Otherwise, it'd be too distracting and all that kind of stuff too. It's all about the information. People want information, and if they want to know more of the speaker, by themselves, they can do so on their own free time. That's a way I kind of see it too for that kind of stuff as well. And there's always there's a time for everything. There's a time for to be more playful and be your own person in terms of like personal likes and interests and for that kind of stuff. And then there are times where they want to know more information, because autism is still a big subject, and people want to learn more about that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm always privileged to be at your location and to deliver more of that information as well. And that's basically what it is, that kind of thing too. So in those keynote events, there's a time to be like your own. That own little personal persona, where you're just more work-based and more professional for that kind of stuff too. And then once you're off of the stage, then you can then you can be yourself and be more playful in that kind of way too. I've seen it in stand-up comedians too, where it's like they can be on the stage as edgy as they can be, with, for those who are into the more mature humor and that kind of stuff. But when they're out of the stage, they become more grateful and more it's more like, oh, thank you so much, and more on their softer side and that kind of stuff too. I've seen it firsthand, and it's really neat. Something about the stage really changes the person in a way too, in a good way, of course, too, and all that kind of stuff too. I've had a history of being on stage, not just for keynote events, but also for singing and dancing and putting on a good show and all that kind of stuff too. It's it's kind of fun. All of it's just fun, and that's what we go for. That's why I say once more. All of it is just fun. So I will. So for the last, for probably not going to be the last time I would say this after the end of this video, but just always keep in mind that public speaking, whether it be your teachers or your peers, just look at it as fun. Just put the fun in it too. It's people are generally excited to see you, generally excited to be with you, and sure, of course, I know it can be a little nervous. I'm not counting that out, of course, not too. And I'm not the kind of guy that says hey, don't feel scared. It's like no, that's way too demanding, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just saying that it's okay to feel that way too, but it's always very important to you can still feel that way, but always make sure to put the fun in it too. Put the fun in the speaking, all that kind of stuff too, and try to in a way balance it out with both extremes, and be sure that the fun parts in a way overcomes the fear, if that even makes sense for that kind of stuff too. And then after the events, whether you're talking with someone or after you've done your show, then when no one else is around, you can still always take a moment to breathe. Just kind of, it's like, oh my goodness, that was oh my goodness, I survived. That kind of thing too. That's right. That's what a lot of people would do after a big show, after being around with a bunch of people. They'd be like, oh my goodness, what a show. And they do it with a big smile on their face too. And they do that not because that they don't want to be there, but because it's like, I survived, and that was surprisingly a good turnout. That's basically what it means too. That's why they do that. And afterwards, they take a very long bath and read afterwards too. That's what I like to do after every event is I just go to my hotel room and take a bath. That's just my way of sort of recharging after a very drained battery and all that kind of stuff too. And get back to wearing what I would like to wear, whether it be aviators or jeans or something that reflects personalities and all that kind of stuff too. Tank tops and all that kind of stuff. I can talk all day about fashion, but that's not what this video is about. So I'm not going to take any more, and I know there's a lot to take in for these things when it comes to speaking events, but all in all, just get excited about these things too. They will eventually happen when you have to when you feel like you need to talk with other people too, whether it be a long lost friend or a colleague or anything like that too. So when they happen, don't panic. Don't breathe in the fear, which stands for forget everything and run. So try not to run too much. It'll be fun. Just make it fun for these kind of things, too. So with that, I'll leave it up to you. Find those moments where you get to talk with other people, with your teachers or with your peers, and make it put the fun in it, and keep in mind too that once you're done speaking with others, and then it's okay to take a moment to breathe, reflect on what happened, and you decide for yourself if it was a good experience or something that you probably never thought of as a good experience. It's all up to you. You be the judge for whoever you talk to. It's all up to you. So with that, I will stop talking right now, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, take care. Good night.